It's time for Wretched Radio with Todd Friel.
Prepare now for lessons in listening. That's right. 2 opportunities to listen. And this is not going to be easy. James tells us that we should be slow to speak and quick to listen, even when it's hard. And I do believe we have 2 opportunities to do some very difficult listening. Number 1 opportunity. Now, this was sent to me simply because, well, I don't know if you knew this, but I am esteemed as being one of the most sensitive, thoughtful, soft-spoken individuals on the planet. So this was sent to me
You are?
So this was sent to me for consideration, and I'm going to share this with you, and I guarantee you this is not going to be easy, most likely for you. Now, maybe this will cause you to cheer. I suspect it's going to maybe cause you to go. The question is, how willing are we to listen to people who are hurting, even as they express their grievances in either a wrong manner or their grievances are just plain wrong in our estimation? Are we still willing to listen lovingly? So, for instance, let's
what'd you say?
Let's warm this one up a little bit. Your child comes to you and is complaining about something, and you want to roll your eyes because when you were a kid, you had to walk to school uphill both ways in the snow. Do you still listen caringly? Now, age might play a difference in it, but the question for us is, even when we disagree with somebody, whether it's initially or we maintain that disagreement, do we still care that somebody is hurting? That's the question before us with loving listening opportunity number 1. Paul Mooney sent this in. Thank you for sending this to idea@wretchedradio.com. This is a quote. He was sharing this from Facebook, and I'm just going to read a chunk of this, and you ask yourself the question, am I willing to listen to somebody who is hurting, even though I disagree, don't like the tone, don't like the way they're doing it? Sunday, I saw a young man sitting for the national anthem with his hand over his heart. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's probably the first time he's ever sat down during the national anthem. But he put his hand over his heart. So it makes me ask myself, what is an issue that would force me to sit during the national anthem? Okay, I understand most likely you disagree with it. You find it disrespectful. I get that. I agree with that. I don't think that that's the way to go about expressing a grievance. But maybe ask yourself the question, how bad would something need to be, in my estimation, whether I'm right or wrong in my assessment, how bad would something need to be for me to say, I'm boycotting the national anthem? I'm doing a sit-down. I have been told to stand up, put my hand over my heart my whole life. We did it in grade school. We said the national anthem. It just bristles against me, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit down because this is so big to me. What would it take? It would take something pretty monstrous, I suspect, wouldn't it? I mean, you didn't even do that when Barack Obama was president. And that was bad, right? So if that's the case for me, can I at least, please note, I'm not asking you to agree or disagree or compromise, but is it fair then to say that these people who are doing the kneeling, Colin Kaepernick, let's just go ahead and let's just use the leader of the pack. There must be something that is profound in his estimation, right, wrong, or indifferent, that is causing him to behave this way. Could we then conclude, right, wrong, or indifferent, that he is hurting, that he is troubled by something, and whether I disagree with it or not, whether I affirm it or not, I should still listen to him and go, okay, I'm gonna cut through the clutter of how annoying I think you're currently being to say that's a human being who's hurting, and I can listen to that. That's the question. And I don't think that this is an easy thing that we're pondering here. This to me is akin to the issue of being a crusty Christian who is willing to just lunge at anybody for any single thing that they say that isn't precisely accurate, because they just have to correct it. It is Christian maturity that says, no, I don't. I don't have to correct everything. I can let some things go. I don't have to write notes and then present them to my pastor because he said something that was just possibly could have been interpreted the wrong way. I don't need to do that because Christian maturity says, oh, that's my pastor. I love my pastor. I respect my pastor. He's a faithful man of God. He works very hard. He's the shepherd, the earthly shepherd of my soul. Because he didn't use the subjunctive when he said, if I was going to do that. He should have said, if I were. I don't need to tell him that. That's maturity. That is not compromising. Is this akin to that? Colin Kaepernick, in my estimation, is not articulate with his argument. I don't think that he is doing it well. I think that he is doing it offensively. Nevertheless, does my Christian heart say there's clearly somebody who's hurting? Now, the question is, can I listen to that person and actually try at least to walk a mile in their shoes, not to compromise, but to understand that's a hurting human being, and I'm willing to get in there and listen to that. Now, does that mean that you've given up your values and your principles? It does not have to mean that. To be nice to somebody, to listen lovingly, doesn't mean that we're giving up our principles. Should we be seeing these protest people with, I'm not saying to compromise our view, I'm asking a question because this challenged me and I'm trying to do the same with you. Do I have to hold on to my position so staunchly that I cannot have at least an ounce of sympathy or empathy because somebody clearly has an issue, a concern, a grievance, a problem, a hurt? Not to get all psychobabbly and squishy. Nevertheless, they're upset about something, aren't they? You disagree. I get that. Doesn't the Christian heart, isn't it capable of both things? I disagree, but I'll listen to you. What's going on? Why do you have that perception? Why do you believe it's so bad in this country that you have to do that and do something that offends so many people? Why do you? I want to understand that. Would you tell me that? I want to get that. I don't think that that's a mark of squishiness. I think that's a mark of maturity. Now, just in case you're getting mad at me for this, let me just tell you, I don't think I have that mark of maturity. Because I think, most likely, maybe you're cheering what these folks are doing who are kneeling down. I have to confess to you, I just went, oh, this is just another example. Our country is in big trouble. And I'm thinking about my kids. I'm thinking about my future grandkids. And I'm going, oh, boy, this is not good at all. The divided states of America. Oh, boy, where could this possibly lead? And those people have no respect. They are dishonoring everybody who lost a loved one in the military, which I don't think is our only argument about standing for the national anthem. It's something that that the Christian should be doing out of gratitude to God for providing this amazing place, and it is. That's why we stand, not to somehow give our affections and allegiance primarily to a country, but to the God who gave us this place. I see that, and there's just something inside of me that goes, and I struggle to actually hear what they're saying. So I'm not chiding you for not being as mature as I don't possess this one either. So I'm asking myself the question, and I'm asking you, do I need to learn how to listen like that? Back to the letter. I want to believe that I'm better than that. But if people who like me and sound like me and believe like me became a perceived target and were being killed by those in authority in our country, how would I respond? Now, I'm quite certain that you did not agree with all of that. Overlook that for a moment. That's what that group of people thinks. Can I at least listen to them and care about their concern, even when I think that they are wrong? That is the question. Can I enter into the fray with a loving heart, a compassionate heart, a listening heart, and still hold on to my beliefs, my integrity, and my Berean nature? That is the question. And so I will ask you, is it possible that this is an area for you, like me, that we need to grow in? Or am I just flat out wrong? Send your response to idea@wretchedradio.com, idea@wretchedradio.com. We'll hear Tony and Joey's response and listening opportunity number 2 next on Wretched Radio.
Thanks for listening to the Wretched segment du jour. If you'd like more Wretched, you can listen to the most current stream for free at wretched.tv/listen, or you can become a club member and listen to our entire archive. Wretched, reaching the lost, equipping the saints, and strengthening the local church.